Commander Jack Stone stood at the large window of Earth Defense Station Alpha, his weathered face reflecting off the reinforced glass as he looked down at the blue planet below. 50 years had passed since that terrible day, yet the memories remained as fresh as ever in his mind. He was just a young lieutenant then, when humanity first learned they weren't alone in the universe. The Stellar Empire's ships had appeared without warning. Massive vessels that blocked out the sun as they positioned themselves over Earth's major cities. Their message was simple: surrender or die. They expected humanity to bow down in fear, just as countless other species had done before. Instead, they received a response that would forever change the galaxy's perception of Earth. Commander. A young officer approached, tablet in hand. The memorial ceremony is about to begin. Jack nodded, straightening his uniform. The golden pins on his chest caught the starlight, each one representing a major victory against alien forces. He had earned more than any other commander in Earth's history. 50 years, he muttered. Feels like yesterday when those bastards thought we'd be an easy conquest. The memorial hall was packed with military personnel and civilians alike. Large screens showed similar gatherings happening around the world. Jack made his way to the podium, his steps heavy with the weight of history. The room fell silent as he began to speak. On this day, 50 years ago, humanity faced its greatest challenge. The Stellar Empire arrived with 10,000 ships, advanced weapons we had never seen before, and the absolute certainty that Earth would fall within days. He paused, letting his words sink in. They were wrong. Images appeared behind him, historical footage from that first battle. The alien ships had expected an easy victory, using their standard tactics that had worked on countless other worlds. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy unlike any they had encountered before. When they disabled our electronics with their EMPs, we fought with mechanical weapons. When they blocked our communications, we used Morse code and signal fires. When they tried to destroy our military bases, they found them empty, because we had already moved everything underground. The screen showed scenes from those early days. Soldiers using old bolt-action rifles against advanced alien troops, tanks running on modified steam engines to avoid electronic interference, and fighter jets launching from hidden mountain bases using mechanical controls instead of computers. But our greatest weapon wasn't our guns or our ships, Jack continued. It was human ingenuity. While they expected us to fight by their rules, we changed the game entirely. The footage shifted to show the turning point of the war, Operation Thunderstrike. When the aliens had grouped their ships in standard attack formation above New York, they didn't expect the humans to sacrifice an entire nuclear power plant, detonating it to create an EMP blast that disabled their shields. They didn't expect the swarms of manually controlled light aircraft, too small to be considered threats by their automated defense systems. And they certainly didn't expect those aircraft to be carrying loads of simple yet devastating thermite charges. We lost millions in those first days. Jack's voice grew solemn. Good people, brave people. But for every human that fell, we learned. We adapted. We evolved our tactics. And most importantly, we made them bleed. The final images showed the retreat of the Stellar Empire's forces. Their once mighty armada, reduced to less than half its original size, fleeing from the weapons of a species they had considered primitive just months before. Today, we remember not just our losses, but the lesson we taught the galaxy. Humanity will not bow. Humanity will not break. And if you dare to test us again. He looked directly into the cameras, his eyes carrying the steel of a man who had seen too much war. We will be ready. As Jack finished his speech, the station's warning systems began flashing. A small alien vessel had just appeared at the edge of the solar system. But unlike the ships of the past, this one didn't advance. Instead, it received Earth's automated warning message, complete with footage from the war, and promptly turned around, disappearing back into hyperspace. Jack allowed himself a small smile. The message was clear. Earth was no longer an easy target. They were ready, and they were waiting. And this time, they wouldn't just survive, they would win. Dr. Emma Wells walked through the massive underground complex of Project Oracle, her footsteps echoing off the steel walls. 50 quantum beacon transmitters lined the circular chamber, each one tall enough to touch the 100-foot ceiling. These machines represented humanity's greatest achievement since the war, a warning system that would reach across the entire galaxy. "Final system check is complete, Doctor," her assistant Tom reported, looking up from his control panel. "All beacons are running at full power." Emma nodded, her gray hair reflecting the blue light from the transmitters. She had spent 20 years of her life on this project, working to ensure that no alien species would ever catch Earth unprepared again. "Show me the broadcast range," she ordered, approaching the central holographic display. The massive screen lit up, showing their solar system at the center. Around it, spreading outward like ripples in a pond, were waves of quantum signals. These waves would carry Earth's message to every corner of known space. Detailed records of their victory against the Stellar Empire, proof of their defensive capabilities, and a simple but clear warning. Earth was ready for any threat. "Ma'am," Tom called out, his voice excited. "We're getting our first confirmation. A trading vessel just picked up our signal at the edge of the Centauri system." Emma smiled. "Play the recording. Let's see exactly what they're receiving." The main screen switched to show the message that every alien ship would now receive upon approaching Earth's space. It began with footage from the war, massive alien ships falling from the sky, human fighters using creative tactics to overcome superior technology, and the final retreat of the Stellar Empire. Then came the current footage, Earth's orbital defense platforms, each armed with weapons reverse-engineered from captured alien technology. The massive shield generator on the Moon, capable of protecting the entire planet. The Mars military base, where new space combat tactics were developed and tested. The asteroid belt, now a maze of automated defense systems and hidden military installations. "Incoming transmission," the computer announced. "Origin, trading vessel Star Wanderer." Emma straightened her lab coat. "Accept transmission." The alien captain appeared on screen, their 4 eyes wide with what Emma had learned to recognize as fear. We received your broadcast. We are a peaceful trading vessel, seeking permission to use the outer transit lanes." "Permission granted," Emma replied calmly. "Stay within the designated lanes. Follow all traffic protocols, and you'll find Earth welcomes peaceful trade." After the transmission ended, Tom looked at his supervisor. They seemed scared. "Good," Emma said, walking over to adjust one of the quantum matrices. "Fear keeps the peace." The galaxy needed to understand that humanity isn't just another primitive species to be conquered or exploited. We're a force to be reckoned with. The next few hours brought similar responses as more ships received their warning broadcast. Some immediately changed course, others requested peaceful passage. None showed any sign of hostile intent. Late that night, as most of the staff had gone home, Emma stood alone in the control room. The holographic display showed dozens of green dots, alien ships receiving their message and choosing peaceful options. Commander Stone's voice came over the intercom. "Dr. Wells, the President wants an update on Project Oracle's first day of operations." "Tell her it's working better than we hoped," Emma replied, watching another dot turn from yellow to green as a ship received their warning. "The galaxy is learning quickly. Earth is no longer an easy target. We're ready, we're watching, and we're waiting." She touched the display, zooming in on one of the quantum beacons. Its soft hum filled the room as it broadcast humanity's message across the stars. They had turned their greatest defeat into their strongest deterrent. The memory of that first war, combined with proof of how far they'd come since then, was keeping their world safer than any weapon could. "And if they don't learn from our warning," she muttered to herself, thinking of the additional defense systems hidden throughout their solar system, "they'll learn the hard way, just like the Stellar Empire did." The quantum beacons continued their endless broadcast, sending humanity's message to the stars. We survived our first war. We grew stronger, and we're ready for the next one. Third Eye adjusted the controls of his cloaked observation post, hidden deep within the Kuiper Belt. From this distance, Earth's sun looked like just another bright star, but his advanced sensors showed him everything happening in the solar system. As the Galactic Council's chief intelligence officer for the human sector, he had spent 5 years watching these strange beings transform their home into an impregnable fortress. Alert, his ship's computer announced. New defense platform detected in the asteroid belt. Show me, Third Eye commanded, his 3 fingers moving across the holographic controls. The screen zoomed in on a massive asteroid that had been hollowed out and filled with weapons. But these weren't the primitive rockets humans had used 50 years ago. These were advanced energy weapons, some designs even the Galactic Council hadn't seen before. How are they progressing so fast? He muttered, adding the new information to his report. This was the 10th new weapons platform this month alone. His communication system blinked with an incoming message from the Council. Report status on human military capabilities. The text read. Third Eye began typing his response. Humans continue to exceed all expectations. They have not only mastered the technology captured from the Stellar Empire, but have improved upon it in ways we didn't think possible. Their Mars base now houses a fleet larger than most mid-level space nations, and their Venus orbital stations can withstand attacks that would destroy our strongest battleships. He paused, watching as a human patrol ship passed near his location. Their sensors were getting better. He had to move his observation post more frequently to avoid detection. The patrol ship was using a new type of scanner, something that seemed to bend space itself to detect hidden objects. But their most dangerous weapon, he continued writing, isn't their technology. It's their mindset. They don't think like other species. When faced with a superior force, most races either surrender or try to match their enemy's tactics. Humans create entirely new ways of fighting. His sensors picked up activity near Earth's moon. The humans were testing their planetary shield again, but this time something was different. The energy readings were off the charts, far stronger than any shield system should be capable of producing. Update. He added to his report. They have found a way to channel their planet's magnetic field into their shield system. Theoretical calculations suggest this could repel even a direct hit from a stellar core weapon. The patrol ship was getting closer. Third Eye quickly activated his secondary cloaking system, a precaution he'd never needed before watching humans. The ship passed by, its new sensors sweeping the area. For a tense moment, he thought they might detect him, but they moved on. He turned his attention to Mars, where human soldiers were practicing space combat maneuvers. Their ships moved in ways that defied standard military doctrine, using asteroids as cover, performing impossible turns by combining gravity slingshots with short-range teleports, and coordinating attacks with a precision that would make veteran galactic commanders jealous. Final assessment, he typed, knowing this report would be read by the Council's highest members. The humans are no longer just defending their world. They are preparing for something bigger. Their technology advances exponentially. Their tactics evolve daily, and most concerning of all, they seem to be enjoying it. He attached video footage of human children, playing with simulator pods, learning space combat as if it were a game. Of human scientists excitedly testing new weapons that shouldn't be possible according to known physics. Of human soldiers treating dangerous combat drills like sporting events, competing to see who could destroy the most target drones. Recommendation: avoid any military conflict with Earth. The species that attacked them 50 years ago found them dangerous but primitive. If anyone attacks them now, they won't find humans primitive anymore. They'll just find them dangerous. As he finished his report, Third Eye noticed something odd on his sensors. The humans were building something new in the asteroid belt, something massive. He zoomed in, trying to understand what he was seeing. His 3 eyes widened in surprise. They were building a door, a massive space gate large enough for an entire fleet to pass through. But it wasn't pointed at any known trading route or alien world. It was pointed toward the unknown regions of space, where no mapped stars existed. The humans weren't just preparing to defend themselves. They were preparing to explore, and anything that got in their way would regret it. The Deep One's battle fleet emerged from hyperspace near Neptune, their black ships blocking out the starlight. Their leader, War Master Krall, stood on his command bridge, his tentacled face twisted in what passed for a smile among his species. They had ignored the humans' warning broadcasts, believing them to be nothing but empty threats. Primitive defenses detected, his sensor officer reported. Only 3 small stations orbiting the planet. Destroy them, Krall ordered. Show these humans what happens when they pretend to be a major power. The fleet moved forward, charging their main weapons. But something was wrong. The human stations weren't trying to run or call for help. Instead, they were powering down, going completely dark. Strange, Krall muttered. Scan 4. He never finished his sentence. The space around his fleet suddenly lit up as hundreds of hidden mines activated, their gravity weapons creating a web of conflicting forces that ripped 3 ships apart instantly. Emergency maneuvers, Krall shouted. Return fire. But there was nothing to shoot at. The mines were simple devices, too small to target effectively. And now something else was happening. The asteroids around them were moving. In the Neptune Defense Command Center, Admiral Jane Wilson watched the battle through secure quantum feeds. They took the bait, she said calmly. Launch Operation Avalanche. Hundreds of asteroids, hollowed out and fitted with stealth drives years ago, began to move. The Deep One's fleet found itself caught in a closing net of massive rocks, each one powered by engines that shouldn't have existed according to their understanding of physics. Impossible, Krall hissed as his ships tried to evade. These are just rocks. How are they? A massive asteroid slammed into one of his cruisers, its kinetic energy enhanced by gravity drives. The ship didn't just break, it shattered, pieces spinning off into space. More asteroids followed, guided by AI systems that had spent years practicing this exact scenario. Launch fighters, Krall ordered desperately. Find their control center. Thousands of small fighter craft poured out of the surviving Deep One ships. They were fast, advanced, and completely unprepared for what happened next. The dead stations around Neptune suddenly powered up again. But they weren't defensive platforms. They were hangars. Human fighters emerged, smaller than the alien craft, but piloted by veterans who had trained in Neptune's gravity well for exactly this kind of fight. Remember your training. Jane's voice came through on all human channels. They're fighting in 2 dimensions. Show them what 3-dimensional combat really means. The human fighters moved in ways that seemed to defy physics, using Neptune's gravity and their own advanced drives to perform maneuvers that the Deep One's targeting systems couldn't predict. They flew in spiraling patterns that their enemies couldn't match, attacking from above, below, and angles that the Deep Ones didn't even think to defend. Status report, Krall demanded. We've lost 40% of the fleet, his officer responded, fear in his voice. Their fighters are using some kind of phase technology. Our shots go right through them. He was partially right. The human fighters weren't phasing. They were using short-range teleports, blinking in and out of space faster than the Deep One's weapons could track. It was technology reverse-engineered from captured Stellar Empire ships, but pushed far beyond what its original creators thought possible. In the command center, Jane received a message from Earth Defense Command. Do you need reinforcements? She looked at her tactical display, watching as another alien ship succumbed to the asteroid barrage. Negative, she replied. Neptune Defense has this handled. The Deep Ones need to learn that even our outer system defenses are more than they can handle. The battle lasted less than an hour. When it was over, the Deep One's mighty fleet was reduced to scattered debris floating in Neptune's orbit. Only 1 ship survived, Krall's command vessel, deliberately left intact. Send them the message, Jane ordered. Krall received the transmission as his crippled ship drifted in space. It was footage of the battle he'd just lost, along with a simple text. This was just our outer defense line. Turn back, or find out what our inner defenses can do. His ship turned around, limping back into hyperspace. The message would spread. Humanity wasn't just ready for attacks. They were 3 steps ahead of them. As the deep ones retreated, the asteroids silently moved back into their hiding places, the station's power down again, and Neptune's orbit returned to its seemingly peaceful state, ready for the next alien species that might need a demonstration. The Galactic Trading Hub was the busiest space station in known space, where thousands of species came to exchange goods, information, and stories. Today, all eyes were on the main display screen, where footage from the Deep One's defeat at Neptune played on repeat. Captain Mark Reed sat at the station's most popular bar, the Stellar Wind, listening to the aliens around him discuss humanity's latest victory. His merchant ship had just delivered a cargo of Earth metals, but his real job was to observe the galaxy's reaction to recent events. They destroyed an entire battle fleet with rocks, a scaled trader whispered to his companion, his 4 arms gesturing wildly. Rocks. But the rocks moved like hunter ships. That's nothing. Another alien merchant joined in, her crystalline body glowing with excitement. I heard they've turned their whole asteroid belt into a weapon. Every rock between Mars and Jupiter is rigged to explode or attack. Mark sipped his drink quietly, hiding his smile. The asteroid belt story wasn't entirely true, but the fear it caused was useful. He activated the small recorder in his collar, gathering intelligence for Earth Defense Command. A tall, tentacled creature approached his table. "You're human," it stated, multiple eyes blinking nervously. "I am Trade Master Hollow Wind. Would your people be interested in selling some of your defense technology?" "Sorry," Mark replied casually. "Earth doesn't sell military tech, but we're always open to peaceful trade." The alien's skin changed color in what Mark recognized as disappointment. As it walked away, 3 more took its place, each wanting to discuss potential deals with Earth. On the screen, the footage changed to show Earth's orbital defenses, massive platforms that combined energy shields with weapons that could hit targets light minutes away. The aliens in the bar watched in silence, their various appendages twitching with nervous energy. "My cousin's ship passed near their Mars base last week," a small, furry alien announced. "Said they detected over 1,000 defense satellites. All of them had weapons we've never seen before." Mark knew the real number was much higher, but he kept quiet. His job was to listen, not correct. A group of robotic beings in the corner were analyzing the battle footage frame by frame. "Their fighters use impossible trajectories," one said in a mechanical voice. "Our combat algorithms cannot predict their movements." "That's because they don't think like machines," an old alien trader responded. He had patches of different colored fur, showing his age. "I remember the stories from the First War with the Stellar Empire. The humans don't follow standard combat doctrine. They make it up as they go, changing tactics faster than we can adapt." The station's news feed switched to a different story. Footage from Earth's latest space fleet exercise near Venus. The new ships were unlike anything in the galaxy, combining organic curves with geometric patterns that seemed to bend light around them. "Those can't be real ships," someone muttered. "They're too advanced." "Oh, they're real," a merchant captain said. "My ship's sensors picked them up last month. They're not just advanced, they're beyond anything the Stellar Empire had. And the humans built them from scratch." Mark finished his drink and stood up. He had heard enough. His wrist computer showed new messages from 50 different alien trading companies, all wanting to establish peaceful relations with Earth. Fear was turning into respect, and respect into opportunity. As he walked to his ship, he passed more screens showing human military power. Some showed the planetary shield that could now cover Earth entirely. Others displayed the massive space dock near Mars, where new ships were being built. A few even showed the mysterious gate being constructed in the asteroid belt, leading to unexplored space. In just 50 years, humanity had gone from a primitive civilization to one that other species feared to attack. But more importantly, they had done it without conquering anyone, without stealing technology, and without compromising their principles. The message had spread across the galaxy. If you want to trade with humans, they'll welcome you as friends. But if you want to fight them, you'll learn why even the mighty Deep Ones now warn others to stay away from Earth's space. Mark's ship computer activated as he approached. "Captain, there are 15 new trade requests waiting for your review." He smiled. Fear might have spread the message, but peace would keep it alive. The Mars Embassy was humanity's most impressive building off Earth, a massive structure of glass and steel that seemed to float above the red planet's surface. Inside its main conference room, General Robert Drake watched as the alien delegation took their seats. Ambassador First Light, a being made of pure energy contained within a crystalline shell, led the group. "Welcome to Mars," Robert said, his voice firm but diplomatic. "Earth is honored by the Galactic Council's visit." First Light's crystal body pulsed with colors. "The honor is ours, General. After recent events, the Council believes it's time for a more formal relationship with humanity." The room's holographic displays activated, showing star maps and trade routes. The alien delegation had brought their most advanced technology, clearly hoping to impress the humans. They didn't realize that Earth's sensors had already scanned and analyzed every piece of equipment they'd brought. "We propose an alliance," First Light continued. "The Council will share advanced technology with Earth, faster than light drives, energy shields, gravity manipulation systems." "Like these?" Robert interrupted, pressing a button. The wall slid open, revealing a hangar where human ships hovered using gravity drives more advanced than anything the aliens had. On another screen, footage played showing Earth's latest FTL ships breaking all known speed records. First Light's crystal shell dimmed slightly. "Impressive. But surely our weapons technology." "You mean like this?" Robert pressed another button. A small cube appeared on the table. "This device can generate enough energy to power a small city. We reversed engineered it from debris left by the Deep One's fleet. Then we improved it. Now it's 3 times more efficient than the original." The alien delegation whispered among themselves. This meeting wasn't going as planned. They had expected to find humans eager for advanced technology. Instead, they found equals, or perhaps superiors. "If you don't want our technology," another delegate asked, their insectoid mandibles clicking nervously, "what do you want?" Robert smiled. "Recognition and respect. Earth claims the entire solar system as its territory. We want this formally acknowledged by the Council. We also want guarantees that no alien fleet will enter our space without permission." "That's a large territory to claim," First Light observed. "We've earned it," Robert replied. "We've defended it. We've developed it. And we've done it all without conquering other worlds or stealing technology. Everything we have, we built ourselves." The aliens conferred quietly. They had expected to offer technology in exchange for human military secrets. Instead, they were being asked for something much simpler and much more significant. "There's something else you should see," Robert said. He activated another display, showing the massive gate being built in the asteroid belt. "We're not just defending our system anymore. We're preparing to explore." First Light's crystal body flashed with surprise. "The unknown regions?" But no species has successfully mapped that space. "The dangers are exactly why we're going," Robert interrupted. "Humanity doesn't run from challenges. We face them, and we prefer to do it with the Council's blessing rather than their opposition." The delegation fell silent. Through the window, they could see human ships practicing combat maneuvers that defied known physics. In orbit above, construction continued on what would be the largest space station ever built. Finally, First Light spoke. "The Council will need time to discuss your terms." "Of course," Robert said. "Take all the time you need. But remember, We're not asking for permission. We're offering an opportunity for peaceful cooperation. As the aliens left the room, Robert received a message from Earth Defense Command. Another alien fleet had just received their warning broadcast and immediately changed course to avoid Earth's space. The message was spreading. Humanity didn't need the galaxy's advanced technology. They had developed their own. Through the window, the sun set behind Mars mountains, casting long shadows across the valley of human progress, where thousands of colonists lived and worked. They weren't just surviving anymore. They were thriving. And soon, they would be ready to show the galaxy what humanity could really do. James Stone, grandson of the legendary Commander Jack Stone, stood at the control center of humanity's newest achievement, the Gateway. The massive space station floated at the edge of the asteroid belt, its circular form stretching over 10 kilometers wide. Through its center, the mysterious gate to unexplored space pulsed with energy. Ambassador Stone, his AI assistant, announced, "We have an incoming ship at the outer warning boundary." James watched as the alien vessel received Earth's automated warning message. Like most ships these days, it immediately adjusted its course to follow approved trading lanes. The days of hostile approaches were long gone. Quite different from grandfather's time, he said to himself, touching the old combat medal he always wore, his grandfather's first decoration from the Stellar Empire War. The observation deck offered a stunning view of humanity's accomplishments. Mars glowed red in the distance, its surface now dotted with cities under massive environmental domes. Venus hosted the largest shipyards in known space, where human engineers built vessels that other species would have thought impossible just decades ago. "Sir," the AI interrupted his thoughts, "the Galactic Council's annual report just arrived." The holographic display showed the latest statistics. Earth was now the third largest trading power in known space. Their military strength was rated as beyond classification, a new category created specifically for them. But most importantly, there hadn't been a single hostile action against Earth or its colonies in over 5 years. "Show me the Gateway's status," James ordered. Another display appeared, showing the massive exploration fleet being assembled. 50 ships, each more advanced than anything the Stellar Empire had possessed, waited for their mission to begin. They would be the first to venture through the gate, exploring regions of space that other species feared to enter. "Message from Defense Command," the AI announced. "The deep space sensors detect unusual activity in Sector 7. James smiled. The unusual activity was exactly what they had expected. Other species secretly gathering to watch humanity's first major expedition beyond known space. They weren't trying to interfere, just observe. Fear had turned to curiosity. A small transport ship docked at the station, carrying a special visitor. James walked to the arrival bay to greet him. Third Eye, now serving as the Galactic Council's official ambassador to Earth. "Ambassador Stone," Third Eye said, his 3 eyes blinking in what James had learned was a sign of respect. "I had to come see this historic moment myself." They walked together through the station, passing crews preparing for the expedition. Human scientists worked alongside alien specialists who had requested to join the mission. It was a sight that would have seemed impossible 50 years ago. "You know," Third Eye said, "when I first started observing Earth, I thought your weapons were your greatest achievement. I was wrong. This is your true strength, turning potential enemies into allies through respect rather than fear." James nodded. Grandfather used to say the same thing. He said winning the war was important, but winning the peace was what really mattered. They reached the main control room just as the first exploration ship moved into position. Its name was clearly visible on the hull. Hess Jack Stone, named after the commander who had started it all. "Beginning gate activation sequence," the AI announced. As energy swirled through the massive gate, James thought about how far humanity had come. From a single planet fighting off invaders to a species about to venture into the unknown. They had built their defenses so well that they rarely needed to use them. "Launch sequence starting," the AI continued. All ships report ready. James stepped forward, ready to give the order that would start humanity's next great adventure. But first, he sent out one last message to all ships in the sector. To all watching species, Earth thanks you for respecting our space and our sovereignty. Today we begin exploring the unknown regions. We go not to conquer, but to learn. Not to dominate, but to understand. Any peaceful species is welcome to join us. But remember, our strength hasn't diminished. We're still ready, we're still waiting, and we're still humanity. The gate burst into life, creating a pathway to unexplored space. As the first ships moved forward, James saw not just the future of humanity, but the future of peaceful cooperation with species who had learned a vital lesson. Earth was strongest not when it stood against the galaxy, but when it stood with it. The era of fear was over. The era of exploration had begun.